Hi, welcome to the morning muffin, your morning carbo load of real estate. I feel like I need like a little instrument.
That was quite good. Good morning, everybody. I'm Lisa Wickman.
Jennifer Cotis. We're from the Wickman Real Estate Group in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Oh my gosh,
Sorry.
so funny today.
Today we're talking about our favorite books about Minnesota, and we had so much fun talking about this, like to get ready for it and to research it. And today's going to be a great day, isn't it?
Oh, it's going to be a great day. And it's 2 days to Christmas Eve, so it's going to be a great day.
Yeah. Okay. I panned out because I want them to be able to see your books because I know you have you can fan them out.
Okay. I can fan them out. Do you want me to go first?
Sorry. Yeah. I mean, we could chatter. I'm
can
wearing my
chat.
monster truck shirt today because I was playing monster trucks with Max this morning and I was like, it's Christmas week. I can do whatever I want.
He did tell me as a secret that he wants monster trucks for Christmas. And he wants little ones to go into something else. I wrote it down.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Like, why didn't you give it to me?
I will give it to you. Because whatever. Anyway, so I have 2 books that I wanted to talk about. The first one, do you have the link for the Minnesota 1918?
Oh, yes, which is like one of my favorite books. And I was so excited that you sent me that link because I was like, oh my gosh, this is the best book ever.
Did you read it?
Yes, and then I loaned it out and I've never gotten it back.
Okay, so this
which isn't like a bad thing for me, by the way.
Okay, so Minnesota 1918, when flu, fire, and war ravaged the state. So this was the flu, the influenza, the H1N1 flu. And I'm just going to give you some stats. These are on the Amazon site, but 118,000 people served in World War II from Minnesota. 1,400 died on the battlefield, but 2,300 died in the flu from the flu while they were serving in the war. So they died elsewhere. 10,000 people died in Minnesota from the flu in 1918 and 1919, which is a lot, big number. And yet last night I had just randomly looked to see how many people have died from the pandemic now. And it's about 4,700, I believe. And then after that, in October, there was a fire that raged, and there were 1,500 square miles that burned in 7 counties. Can you imagine that? That's like a huge fire. So it left thousands homeless and hundreds dead. And I just thought this would be a really interesting read, and considering the time that we're in with this pandemic. So I thought it would be a pretty cool book to read. Author Kurt Brown.
There that snowstorm too that hit that winter and ended up killing all those children?
Oh, I'm sure that would have been in the book, but I don't know. I haven't read the book.
Oh, yeah. So there's was this famous snowstorm that hit northern Minnesota, and it hit like midday. So all the kids went to school, and then the teachers were like, oh, the weather's getting bad, go home, go home. But everybody walked then. So since about in the snowstorm, and a bunch of children froze to death in this whiteout.
Oh, that's horrible.
It's devastating. Terrible book. Really educational. Bad things happen.
Bad things happen. That's true.
I'm sorry, guys. This is terrible. This is a terrible book. Okay. I mean, if you're an empathetic person, you'll be crying the entire time you read it.
Oh, well, the next book will make me cry for sure.
Okay.
I got emotional just looking at it and reading part of it. Okay. So my next book, my parents actually gave me a series of 3 books that were written by a woman. Her name is Nancy. I can't pronounce her last name, Scheibe or something. And it's called Voices from the Upper Mississippi. And it's a story about this woman who wanted to, for her 50th birthday, she wanted to paddle the Mississippi. So she she started planning it in 2003. Then she did her trip with a woman in 2004, and they traveled from the beginning of the Mississippi up in Lake Itasca, and they traveled to Red Wing. I'm going to put this down. But and what she wanted to do, and her purpose was, in Native American culture, grandmothers are considered any woman over 50. And she wanted to gather wisdom from women over 50. And you didn't need to be a grandmother. You didn't need to be a mother. That's not what is considered a grandmother in Native American culture. And so she planned this trip, and what she wanted to do was gather women along the shores as they traveled the Mississippi. And the only women who could speak at these gatherings were women over 50 to give their wisdom. And doesn't that sound just awesome?
Yeah.
So she did this. I started reading it this morning. I mean, I seriously got weepy just thinking about all of this stuff. And then she wrote Ripples of Wisdom, which covers her travels from Red Wing to St. Louis, and 634 miles, and 140 women joined her along the shores. I just think that's so cool. And then she wrote a third book called Waves of Wisdom, and this book covers her travels from St. Louis down to the Gulf of Mexico. I mean, what an experience, and I'm sure it was just incredibly emotional. I'm getting emotional just thinking about how cool this is.
Yes.
I'm actually really excited to read these books, because I started reading it this morning, and I'm just like, oh my God, this is fabulous. And I'm sure it would be really great, I think, for younger women to read, because this is, your life experiences as you're aging and so forth, from women with great wisdom, as we age. So I guess I'd be considered a grandmother, even though I'm not a grandmother. I am a mother, but I'm not a grandmother.
Are you over 50? Wait,
Of course I am.
I don't know these things. I don't ask.
Okay, I'll fess up. I'm 57. Yeah.
No way.
Yes, I am.
I had no idea.
Oh, I love that.
I'm like, whatever. Anyway, I think you're pulling my leg. Okay, well.
I love these books. We're going to have a link to the books below.
Yes, we will put them in there. I have them saved. Okay. So, is it my turn?
Yes, it's your turn.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So, couple of things. I grew up in Washington State, and my mom would wake me up at like 5:30 in the morning every morning when it was still dark, and we would snuggle on the couch and watch A Little House on the Prairie every morning. That's the way I grew up. Like it was like reliable watching Little House on the Prairie while snuggled in a blankie.
Oh, I love it.
I am really heartbroken when I moved to Minnesota and found out that she's like not even a true Minnesotan, that she's like all over the place, like all over the Midwest. She's kind of like, yes, and that they weren't true and things like that. They were based off of truth, but yeah, that's ever fanciful because my young adolescent mind was like, it totally enmeshed in this like life that I thought was real. Like, I don't know, Laura Ingalls Wilder. Anyway.
Well, we all grew up with those books and those shows.
Mm-hmm. I loved it. Okay. So then, but that's not the book that I wanted to read. I just felt like I need to talk about that because it's so important to me as a person. Okay. This is a great book. The People of Minnesota, Somalis in Minnesota. And it talks about their culture and the misinformation that is out there about them, and sometimes the cultural differences that come up. Like, for example, there was some Somali cab drivers that got in trouble. I don't know if you remember, in like 2005, 2006.
I can remember a story about that.
Yeah, because they wouldn't let some blind people in their cab that had dogs, like seeing eye dogs, because dogs are like not okay in their culture, and then neither is alcohol, so they wouldn't let alcohol into their cabs either, like from like a liquor store or anything. So then we had to like figure out, a sympathetic way to still allow people to have their cultural differences, but still abide by the rules and things like that. And it's just really amazing. Like, if you come from a war-torn country, but that wants to strip you away of your culture, so you move someplace that you think you're going to have this freedom, and then they take away some of those things too. It's a difficult balance, and it requires a lot of empathy. And I loved this book because, it has a lot of facts and figures and a lot of references, and
It
it's really
sounds
good. So
awesome.
it really is. So I lived my very first condo here that I bought in Minnesota is right next to the Carmel Mall, which is the Somali Mall in Uptown off of Lake Street. And so I was always outside and talking to them, like the Somali people that would gather around outside and stuff. And it was so much fun. And I get treats all the time. And I fell in love with it and the fabrics and stuff, and shopping over there like during Christmas time, and being able to, not that they don't celebrate Christmas obviously, but being able to go there and like find things for people was fun, and I miss it. So
Well, and I think part of, one of the reasons probably that book was written is Minnesota has the largest Somali community in the country.
mhm.
I do know that fact. So,
I
okay.
love it. I love culture. I love seeing it. I love the melting pot that we live in here in Minnesota. So speaking of melting pots, I'm going to share my screen. I found a cookbook because yesterday we were talking about cookbooks, and I was looking online and I found this one that I was like, I need to get Minnesota lunch from pasties to banh mi. So
Ooh,
like up north, it talks about it like up north, like how do I click on this? Show more.
no more.
There we go. Oh, and it's got that little thing that's stuck there. But like on the range, like there's pasties because they're like little meat pies that you can carry in your hand. And when you're gonna go work in a mine, you can bring it. And then the Somali sambusas, which is awesome, like on Eat Street in Minneapolis. And then the Vietnamese banh mi, which is my favorite sandwich of all time. I
Oh,
can
and I
eat it.
just had one for the first time this year, and it was amazing.
What? Oh, yeah, you did. I remember that day.
Yeah, it was awesome.
So anyway, there is tons of really amazing recipes that talks about how eclectic it is here. Everything from like lutefisk and lefse to banh mi's, Mexican tortas, juicy Lucy's. I mean, this cookbook is really like the antithesis of what I think of Minnesota food.
Oh, I think it's great.
I
I
know.
love it.
I'm all excited to share it with people. Okay. And then lastly, it's not a book I want to share. This is a illustrator that I want to share from Minnesota. So some of my favorite books are Harry Potter.
Harry Potter. Read
Yeah.
them both. Or read them all.
Oh, there's like 7.
I read all of these books out loud twice. I read all of them to Emma, and then I read all of them to Luis.
No, I love it.
Yeah.
But the illustrator is from Bloomington, Minnesota. And her inspiration for the cover art is and some of like the little like title pages, I think they have like little like doodles and things. I can't find it in here, but they're not they're not expensive editions, but I think the hardcover ones have like little doodles like above the chapters or things like that. So but they have she's there her I have the screen. Her ideas came from the stained glass window from the church that she grew up in here in Bloomington, and she fell in love with. And I was told the name of the church. I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to look. Okay. Bonaventure
That's
Church in
beautiful art.
Bloomington. I do believe is the name of the church that somebody told me, but I wasn't able to find anything confirming that. So I'm gonna put it out there that maybe if you guys want to drive by it, it's like Bonaventure Church, Bonaventure. I can't spell in my head. But anyway, here is all about her, and she's won several awards, as you can see. She is an illustrator. She went to, Minneapolis College of Art and Design. She won American Booksellers Book of the Year for her Harry Potter series illustrations. She also did the artwork for the movie Ants and Ice Age.
Wow.
I know. Isn't that great? Here is some of her clients that she worked for,
She's
which is,
big time.
I know. Isn't that wonderful? She's great. And some of the awards, some of her exhibitions that she's had, it doesn't look like there's anything recent. I don't know. I didn't look at her Wikipedia. This is her webpage and I really enjoyed it. So I just left it here. So, but yeah, isn't that fun? It's fun to find
Mary
cultural.
Grand.
I know, Marie. Yeah,
I would buy that piece of art and hang it in my home.
it's beautiful, isn't it?
It's stunning. Yes, it is. And I need artwork in my home.
It's true. You have nothing hanging up yet.
Blank walls. I have a closet full of artwork, but I have blank walls right now.
Wow.
Anyway,
this is it. Topic tomorrow. Did you peek?
I did yesterday, but I didn't today. So
I know I haven't peeked either. Okay, so animal shelters.
Animal shelters.
Because today is Weekend Wednesday. I know a lot of people that during the pandemic decided to go get pets. It's always a good idea to rescue them. We're going to talk about animal shelters, and maybe you're going to get a puppy for Christmas or something. Animal shelters are a great way to do it. But we'll more about that tomorrow. And then we're going to take Thursday and Friday off. Yeah?
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
I think maybe I could get like a little catch up video call. We could probably live stream something, maybe, huh?
Maybe. I'm open. We'll see. We'll see.
I'll bring the computer down around the Christmas tree. I'm up in my office, so just upstairs. I say downstairs because my tree and stuff. My kid will be running around, hopped up on sugar, probably shaking from excitement, yelling, "Ah!"
All right, everybody.
Okay.
Have a great day. Enjoy your shopping.
Bye.
Bye.